Thank you all for joining us for the East Aurora Village Board meeting for March 2nd, 2026. If you could please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Can I get a roll call attendance, please?
Trustee Lizickis. Trustee Cameron. Here. Trustee Vijay. Here. Trustee Flynn.
Here.
Trustee Raby.
Here.
Trustee Shear.
Here.
Mayor Mercurio.
Present.
6 present, 1 absent.
Thank you. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes of the Village Board meeting for February 17, 2026?
So moved.
Moved by Kristen, second.
Second.
Second by Ernie. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. Can I get a motion to approve the payment for March 2nd, 2026 abstract, 2025-2026 fiscal year for a total of $285,106.35?
Motion.
Moved by Jeff, second.
Second.
Second by Molly. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. Moving on to our first speakers and communications, there will be 2 opportunities for the public to speak. One will be now, the other one will be near the end of the meeting. If you have something you'd like to say to the board, please raise your hand. When recognized, come up, give us your name and address, tell us what's on your mind. Try to keep it under 2 or 3 minutes, please. Anybody? Sir, the handsome gentleman in the second row.
Do I need to do anything with this?
We usually stand, but it doesn't matter.
No, you can sit. Just bring it over to you.
There's a table, so.
Do it. That's why the chairs are there.
Well, hello, I'm Mike Sullivan,
I'm Amy Sullivan.
and we live at 574 South Street. I'm sure you've all seen the National Fuel construction that's around Sycamore and South. And last October, a representative from National Fuel came to our house looking for us to sign an agreement that would allow them to dig in an area 5 feet adjacent to South Street. We asked if that construction had to go into our yard, and we were assured that that wouldn't be needed. He provided a formal contract and business card, and we signed the agreement. So on February 18th, that work at the street started. February 19th, work at that street finished. On February 20th, I received a knock on the door, and a representative from National Fuel's contractor, J.D. Northrop, said that on Monday, they had planned to replace the gas line from the street to the house because it needed a new tracer wire. I said I was surprised by this because in October, a formal document that we signed said they didn't have to come into the yard. But they said it needed to be done, and as long as I said it was done by 2 p.m., because we had doctor's appointments, it would be fine. Needless to say, we did not make those doctor appointments, and that turned out to be the least of our worries. So on Monday morning, the 23rd, they rolled the backhoe into our yard, compressed the side of our driveway, hacked at the roots of our 25-year-old Japanese maple, turned off our gas, and installed their new gas line. When the gas was turned back on, our boiler would not restart. The representative from J.D. Northrop told us that the boiler was a piece of crap. They sent out a tech who, after 30 minutes, had to get on the phone with his boss and ended up telling him to tap it with a screwdriver. I heard tap, tap, tap. It restarted once. He left, but it did not restart again. It was 18 degrees on Monday, and we spent the night in the cold. So after multiple calls with the original contact that came to our house from National Fuel, calls to J.D. Northrop contacts and National Fuel Risk Management, we were told this wasn't their fault and they weren't going to be paying for it. We were given a 12-inch space heater to borrow from National Fuel and offered a diesel-powered indoor space heater from J.D. Northrop, which we said no thank you to. It wasn't until we reached out to Mayor Mercurio to help that anything got done. We appreciate his availability and responsiveness and the commitment to the well-being of East Aurora. Quickly, and one called the PCS, our normal heating contractor, and this was fixed. And thanks to Pete's intervention, National Fuel did agree to pay for the repair. But we've been told we will not be reimbursed for a service call to make sure that our newly installed generator would still operate properly after the gas line pressure changed. The irony of us installing an expensive gas generator to make sure we didn't spend winter nights in the cold And National Fuel actually leaving us in the cold should not be lost on anyone in this room. And then just today, Village Water had to come out to our house because the National Fuel construction also damaged the water line at the street in front of our house, and now we have water bubbling up at the street and sidewalk. And I'm making you aware of this because I don't want other neighbors in the village to have to go through this. Already, our neighbors to the right of us at 562 South Street had their complete sprinkler systems ripped out. Our neighbors to the left at 590 South Street had their front yard also filled with water when J.D. Northrop started digging. But of course, according to National Fuel, this was also just a coincidence. And I just hope this can get better for others in the village moving forward. And I do truly appreciate that our village government looks out for the citizens versus the corporations who operate here, who only look out for the bottom line. Thank you.
I guess, I mean, there's probably, 50, 60 houses being affected by the project, and I do want to say I'm sorry that you guys have had to go through this. I get it where you know, somebody pulls a car into the garage and turns it off and goes to turn it back on, and sometimes it doesn't start, but this seems like much too much to be any kind of coincidence, you know?
The number of coincidences is
Yeah.
remarkable.
Yeah. And what about, did you say cracked your driveway?
It's pushed down, not to the point where it's crumbling, but it didn't look like that when
Yeah,
it
it's
started.
different, right.
Yeah. A piece of plywood would have alleviated that, but
Have they addressed that at all?
no.
And from what I understand, they're going to come back and do all the landscaping in May when the weather's,
April or May. we would
April,
hope
May
that
when the
would
weather
be done.
breaks.
Yes. So we will see when that's all done. Hopefully you don't have to see me again, but if that doesn't go as planned, again, I just want to state that there's a lot of others, as you said, 60 people going through this, and I don't need or want anyone else to have to deal with this also.
funny that they have to do it now in the winter when it's 18 degrees out. Like, why would they mess with something that provides heat then? You know, I don't understand their plan, but, so you said the DPW did come out and help with the water?
Yes, very quickly.
It was Jeff. He was so kind.
Thanks, Jeff. And the water's all good?
I was just gonna say, is anything else gonna happen with that water down there?
So Northrop is coming tomorrow morning to fix their water line. The leak we had last week had nothing to do with the Northrop construction. It was just a break in the line.
So they're gonna come and fix it when?
Tomorrow morning.
Yeah. At the main or at the service?
No, it's actually their service on their side that's leaking.
Yeah, they're gonna fix that?
Yep.
Okay. You guys notified of that? I assume they'll have to shut the water off while they do that.
They contacted Brian at like 5:30 this evening about it, so I'll be down there. Brian will be down there as well.
Okay. All right.
Good.
So
As
just
we've
wanted you to
learned-
Be aware.
Yeah, we appreciate it. I mean, as we've learned with, dealing with NYSEG and Gwinnett Speed, with the wires and the trees and stuff, there's certain things that they're allowed to do, and there's certain things that we need to be able to be aware of and kind of hold their feet to the fire when they,
And we appreciate
Yeah.
that. We really do.
Yeah.
We really do. They didn't care.
Yeah.
Good.
We probably called 24 people, and I'm glad one of them was you, because that helped.
You were the only
Well,
one.
good.
So thank you.
I'm glad it
very
worked
much.
out. Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it.
Let us know how you do.
Oh,
will ya?
sure.
So we can stay on them.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thanks. So Hamilton's okay, though?
Yes.
She was cold. She
Yeah.
wasn't happy, but she was cold.
Hamilton's the pig we approved. Ernie?
Yep,
You were on the board then, right?
yes.
Yeah. Hamilton's their pet pig.
14 years ago.
Really? Oh, man. All right.
How long do they live for?
I mean, how long do you live for, Ernie? Like, it's different.
We don't have an expiration date.
Just like people.
Yeah.
Probably 20-ish.
Yeah.
Or less. Who knows?
I wish her all, many more years of good health and you have, they have a loving family, so.
Thanks, guys. Anyone else want to speak on any topic? Sir? Jay, please. Hey, we record all the meetings, so we need the microphone. Thank you for coming up.
Good evening, thank you. And my issue is not nearly what they had to deal with. It had to be horrible.
Who's this? I'm
This
sorry, sir.
is in-
Who are you? What's your address, name?
Jay DePerno, Elm Street Bakery, one of the proprietors, and I'm just coming to kind of get in front of the consideration for Music Fest. And this is not an advertisement pro or against, but it's consideration, and I'm not even sure if I should be talking to Music Fest folks or you, but I figured everybody was here tonight, so. I love the event. I have friends and family that benefit from the event, and I love the charitable aspect of the event. But it does not help all businesses. And one of the considerations I'd simply ask is that think about the closure of roads. The candle shop, the bakery, the other businesses that are operating at different hours, don't do well in that scenario. And we don't have that many great warm Saturdays to really feed businesses. So please consider that as this whole process unwinds.
Are you thinking of any roads in particular? I mean, you're talking about
Yeah,
Elm?
this is, out of selfish concerns, it's Elm Street, right? It's always been, we've participated in the event. It doesn't really make sense for us anymore, but I know the folks who own the Riley Street or Riley House, it does for them, so I want this to go on. But a 1 o'clock closing doesn't help people who either choose not to participate or who don't have anything to benefit from. So the scope of the event just needs to be considered.
Sure.
Because, we're thinking this one through.
Yeah, Elm Street wasn't always closed, right, Pat?
It has been.
Jay?
It has.
It wasn't closed for every music fest, was it?
No, originally it was open, but we started closing it just because it became a safety issue. There's a lot of pedestrians, and the way people park on Elm Street to begin with, we deemed that it was more safe to have it be closed than have it be open and risk the potential pedestrian struck situation,
Yeah,
we all know what goes into the event, and I agree with you. There are businesses on that street that do suffer, and we have had issues with those folks not being in favor of it, but a closure on Elm Street, at the end of the day, provides a much more safe environment for what goes on during the event.
But with all due respect, there's no businesses that are venues for that event, right? Right, so it's wide open, and that.
You're saying on Elm Street?
On Elm
That
Street,
stretch of Elm?
Right, so
Right,
we,
so
we,
could we
we-
just do no-
this is, the Riley House definitely participates, but that's Oakwood, and then
Yeah, he said that.
cutting that whole corridor off, I've talked to Ben about this, I've talked to, all the local businesses about this, some, are like, nah, what can we do, but it definitely affects, and as you consider how this thing happens, whether, you give me what I want, which is don't close Elm Street, but also any road in this town that has other businesses. It's not just about, those that benefit from.
Pat, what about, only parking one side, posting it just for the event?
When this event started, obviously it's grown. It did grow drastically through the years, and we didn't close it for many years, and it got to the point where we were forced to close it or else risk that potential pedestrian struck situation. And unfortunately, I don't have a great answer for you, Jay, as far as how we leave it open so that the businesses there can succeed that day and we have the event. But at the time that it became, when we decided to close it, we started closing it because there were many near misses. At the time, the buses, that was part of their route for the shuttle buses, and it was one of those deals where we better shut this down before somebody gets hit, because we've almost had 5 people get struck this afternoon.
And I absolutely understand that. So I guess the consideration should be in the past, we participated, so we were part of that, and so did Left Coast. But I know for certain, neither one of us are, right? So there's one, so as you think it through, if you have to do it, I'm going to support you, you know that, right? But it's not an event that just automatically brings, good fortune to all. And closing a corridor down that we pay taxes on and have for 15 years, right? It's not a temporary thing. We're part of the fabric here, right? And it does have a meaningful impact, and a Saturday, that time of year, makes small businesses weeks, right? I mean, and I know the one entity that, you know, I want Ben and I want Tony and Renee to succeed, but that has to be part of the whole, you know, discussion around this thing. You know, does this scope have to be as big as it is? Does it have to be a footprint of village or going to be consolidated somehow?
Well, this is obviously before the vote, and I have no problem sitting down with the other folks that are involved in the planning of it, the other department heads and whatnot, and we can discuss just what you're asking for, you know, the impact of it and what the feasibility is to it. I have, you know, no issue looking into it further.
All right. That's all I had. Thank you.
Thanks, Jay.
Thanks, Jay.
Anyone else want to speak on any topic? All right, we're going to close the speakers and communications. You'll have another opportunity at the end of the meeting. There's no public hearings today. Moving on to official considerations. Can I get a motion to consider approving the application for 270 Buffalo Road, Knox Mansion, as part of Stonegate, to consider making it a local landmark?
I'll make a motion to get it up for discussion.
Get it discussed, all right? Motion by Jeff, second.
I'll second.
Second by Molly. Further discussion?
I guess I'm still unsure of the direct benefit. I hate to put that tag on the homeowners at this point in time, and would like to have an opportunity perhaps in the future if we need to reconsider it. But at this point, I'm not convinced it's a good plan.
I agree. I don't think I want to handcuff them with that, although I want the building preserved, right?
Oh, absolutely.
So I'd be more interested, I guess, in doing kind of a revisit in 6 months or 12 months to make sure there's no demolition by neglect, that it's being cared for, and that gives the residents, I guess, time, right, to see, they can legally determine who actually owns the building and whether they can apply for grants to get some kind of help with it. Liz, you've inspected the building?
No,
No? You haven't seen any signs of neglect, though, from your,
no, we're
over here for
an inspection,
oh, yeah,
so
okay,
can't say.
okay. What do you guys think?
I don't mind pushing it down the road. It was voted by the, it had to be a unanimous vote, is what we were told, and it wasn't even close. So, you know, it's kind of a moot issue at this point until neglect happens or they
Or
reverse
maybe they
that,
get grants and get some money
fix it
to
up. I'd hate to see it go as well.
fix it up, yeah.
Right.
I'm a proponent of preserving it, but not by our choice necessarily at this point.
Anybody else? All right, moved by Jeff, second by Molly. This is a motion to make it a local landmark. All those in favor? Opposed?
Aye.
Nay.
Hey.
Nay.
Everybody forgets the words.
All right, it looks like it was all nays, so the motion fails. Can I get a motion to consider approving the temporary use permit for Heart of Music Festival, June 13, 2026, from 3 PM to 12 PM, pending an approved certificate of liability insurance due to the clerk at least a month prior, and the approved Part 18 paperwork from Erie County due to the clerk by noon the Friday before? Anyone ready to make that motion?
I'll make the motion to get it up for discussion.
Yeah.
Jeff?
Yeah.
Second by
Second.
Steve. Further discussion?
So just to remind me, what were the times last year of the event?
Yeah, I thought it was getting dialed
I
back.
believe it was 1 to 9.
1 to 9.
And then the music had to stop by 9, but the venues could stay open until 10. Participating venues could stay open until 10.
Till 10.
And if I got it right, Chris, you let me know if I don't, I think now it's 3 till 10, but the venue's closing at 11. Why don't you come up? And the rink going until 11 with an extra hour for the people to.
Well, this says midnight on it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Yeah, this has been,
That's what I'm saying, yeah, well, that's it, till 12, ultimately till 12, right?
Yeah, Chris Welch, 451 Stoley. Sit down. Yeah, so it's just more of a staggered release, you know, venues, I think we have music till 9, closed by 10, and then rink 11, closed by 12, just to kind of shift everything. Last year we noticed that everyone getting released all at once just was a big delay.
Just a quick question, you just said 9:10?
Or 10. What is it on the application?
On the application, it's 10:11.
Yeah, sorry. Music 10 at the venues, venues closed by 11. Rink, music till 11, closed by 12.
Right, so it was last year it was 1 to 9 for music, venues closed by 10. This year it's 3 to 10 at the venues for music, venues closed by 11, but the rink, music stops at 11, and the venue closes at 12, which is what I said, let the record show. I did get it right the first time.
It's a similar amount of time, just shifting a little later to, I think it helps alleviate some of Jay's concerns with Elm Street, because they're only open till 4, so if we don't start till 3, gives them more time. Not as much, obviously, probably as he would like, but I think it solves a small portion of that problem a little bit too, because we don't have to shut the road down as soon.
Well, it looks like it still gets closed at 1.
I think last year we closed it earlier than that, if I'm not mistaken. And if we could push the closure to Elm for later, I don't think it would be too big of an issue. Is it feasible, because so much, and I'm just thinking of this, so much of the traffic on Elm does not come until later, could we close Elm at 4? Like, instead of closing it at the beginning of the festival, could we leave it open partially and then close later, Pat?
I like Pat's idea is to review that with the department heads to see alternatives if possible.
Just off the top of my head, I think of the resources involved, and the DPW comes out and we do road closures for every other part of the event. We'd be holding them around for a few more hours to do that closure or calling them back in, and I think, I don't know that works out on a Saturday afternoon to call them out twice or stretch that out like that, but it's something that, I understand Jay's concern, and it's something that we're obviously willing to talk about. I think it's just going to take some brainstorming to decide if there's anything we can do to change it.
Other thoughts from the board?
And then last year, we limited to 7,000 people?
Yeah.
7,000, I think you said you sold 5,000 tickets, though,
I
right?
think we're right
Yeah.
around 5,000.
So we're going to 8.
Because it was kind of a late start for promotion. Now, right, we've already given you the okay to promote it and sell tickets, correct?
We've held off. Just want to have all of our ducks in a row, 'cause- and it's harder to sell a ticket and not tell people what time everything is and things of that nature. So we could start sales, we have everything ready to go, we just haven't pulled that trigger yet.
So you just brought up the 8,000. He asked for 9 when he met with the department heads. We let him know that you guys were wishing it to only be 8, so he did agree to that. So
Okay.
you'll notice the changes on
Yep.
there. And he did sign off on the changes.
I just feel like this is inching the wrong direction in terms of lateness. I think the staggered's a good idea, but, we're going to midnight now? I don't know, it just seems,
I like it as a daytime event, which I've said in the past, like an all-day festival feel, because that's what it feels like. I feel like trouble happens when it's late at night and everybody's been drinking all day and things get worse and worse and worse. I'd be willing, I see what you mean about the staggering it with the rink. I personally would be okay with another hour for the rink. I don't know about moving the whole event back an hour,
I think we saw
and the rink 2 hours.
I think we saw too last year that the type of crowd that we're attracting with some of the changes we're doing isn't quite the heavy drinking crowd. They are geared a little more towards music. And I don't think the village cleared out as much as we thought. I think the non-participating events just saw a massive influx of bodies into them. So it's not like they didn't leave Main and Hamlin that was following the rules and then go home. They left Main and Hamlin that participated in the festival, and they just went to one of the non-participating venues that was still open. So I think instead of taking all the people who come to the festival, and let's say 50% of them still stay in the village, and we pipe them into the 3 remaining locations, we can take the same ones, give them an extra hour, stagger, keep that group spread out, get closer to the closing time, transition a large crowd to the rink for the final music, and then dissipate from there. You know, we'll keep 12 venues open for an hour longer, and then give them a natural progression out. I think even last year, we kind of discussed it a little bit later, and then ultimately dialed back. I think we saw the steps we put in place were really proactive. And to Molly's point, this is our ultimate time frame, right? Like next year, it's not, hey, let's go to midnight. This, I think, is where it's profitable for the participating venues to continue to participate and follow through, but not so late that we keep so many people in the village that we're asking for trouble. From what I've seen, I think this is the good balance point of success for the festival, success for the village, everything like that.
I like the idea of sending some people to the rink, right? Not everybody's going to leave the bars, the venues, and go to the rink. Some will leave then, some will work their way down and then leave at the end of the
But at least
at the end of the
5,000
rink.
aren't cramming into the 4 places that are open.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it sounds like we still have to work some things out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it was my decision, I would keep it the same as it was last year and then grant them the 1-hour extension at the rink. So I think last year I rode around with the fire department the whole venue, and by the close of music, Main Street was pretty empty. And then after I went to the fire department, packed up and went to leave, I drove all of Main Street, and you couldn't even tell Music Fest had happened. It was so quiet. So I don't know that there's really a shift of people going to bars that are still open. I think some of the bars were also closing at the same time. And I think it really kept it really well contained.
I think Griffin got some people after the thing ended, probably because of their location too, and they stay late. You guys from Main and Hamlin got anything to add? Or Riley's, not to put you on the spot. Or Riley's, you're here too, right?
Yeah. I'll come up for a second. So, Anthony Mobley, 27 Riley Street. I just think that last year, I know that was supposed to go 9, we're supposed to shut music down at 9, and then everybody had to leave by 10. Well, we had police officers kicking people out at 9 o'clock last year. So I don't know what was up with that. That was just kind of like, I mean, I'll be honest, like, you know, for me being a new business owner over there, that day is like immaculate for us. And like, it's just tough. From the first year that I opened up for it, it was huge. Let's just say if I did percentage wise, I probably did 20 to 25% less in sales. On that great of a scale and number, it's a huge loss for us.
Last year.
Last year
Right.
compared to the first year that I had.
Yeah, but I'm not sure, I mean, the general consensus is it isn't necessarily because of the hours, right? We wrangled back and forth with the new organizer, and so by the time it got approved, by the time they'd met all the marks and it got approved, they had less time to promote it.
Yeah.
And the price was also, I think, twice as much.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm open to that too.
Yeah.
I just think that because like even when we didn't have the time constraint, was there a time constraint the first 2 years ago? There was none at all. And I made the decision personally.
There's always been.
Yeah, there's always been something.
Yeah.
There was? Okay. I don't know what that was. Was it midnight?
Last year, it got moved up.
No, but 2 years ago it was midnight maybe? I don't know, whatever. It seemed to work out fairly well for us. I'm just being honest. Like
2 years ago.
2 years ago. We were completely shut down. My drawers were pulled by midnight, and we had no issues. I mean, we have one of the larger crowds too. Obviously, we have one of the more larger venues out of all the bars, but we didn't have any issues with that. It's just, I don't know. I just think at least the hour longer does help a little bit. Or if we're going to have the 9 and then keep the venues open till 10, at least don't kick us out at 9. That's all. Like, we just don't want to be, I'll pull the drawers at 10 o'clock.
Yeah, I hadn't heard of that. Pat, can you talk to
Yeah.
that at all? Or is it something you got to look into?
I can't talk to it because I wasn't there, and I'd have to
Right.
look back on it. There's a lot of security that day, and you have to understand your footprint is also a large parking lot. They may have been loitering in the parking lot and told things are shut down. I don't know what you constitute as yours.
Yeah.
I don't think, I hope
Well-
our folks weren't inside your bar telling people to leave at 9 o'clock.
They were,
But,
I mean, they were more in our parking lot, maybe on like where the side patio was, but like the beer truck's outside for us. So like that's a huge spot, and like they were telling people that they couldn't get any more beer over there. And like I'm trying to
The
like,
police officers or security guards?
it was the police officers.
Well, again, wasn't there, certainly.
That should be fixable, though.
Yeah, we,
Breaking up, telling people they had to leave because there's a problem there. That's only.
I didn't have any problem with them. There was no altercation. There was no nothing like that. I just wanted to abide by. I just let you know, like there was people, like there was definitely police officers. It was not security guards. It was definitely police officers that were telling people that we were shut.
Well, just so you're aware, some of the security were wearing outer carrier vests and handguns that look like police officers but weren't. Just so you're
And that might be the case too. I don't know, but I guess to attest to what Chris is saying is that like, you shut us down, there's 3 other bars that are gonna be open, they're just gonna pack and, you know, anything can go on there, just because, so what happens if I say, I don't wanna be a part of Music Fest this year, right? Rink is open, I'm in a hot spot, I could just stay open all night and just rock and roll. I'll have my own bands. I don't wanna be that guy, but I'm just saying, like, I'm just throwing it out there from a different person that's probably not in this room right now, down the road, could say, hey, we're just gonna be in the hot spot and just rack up this cash today.
You still have to follow your permit, though.
I would still be following my permit, I would just, right, because my permit allows me to have bands till 10.
Right.
so I would say that you have to understand, many of us have been here since day one.
Sure.
And this is an event that has grown and grown and grown. And we've done our best to put in safeguards to keep the community happy, keep the community safe, keep the event to go on. And not everything's perfect at the end of the day, but we've done a darn good job, I think, at controlling this. Now, I know you're a newer business owner and you're coming into this, and I get it. Like, it's a damn good day for you, I'm sure, when we let it go full bore.
Sure.
But our interest is in the safety of the community, and that's why these times are set up the way they are.
Yeah, and I agree with you, and I respect that a lot. Trust me, I actually, the first day I ever bartended at Riley Street, ever actually bartended, was on the first Music Fest ever. So, I swear to God, I got thrown, I came from Applebee's, I was bartending at Applebee's, I came to Riley Street, and I was bartending next to Babe, and she threw me into it, and I had like 40 of my friends waiting for me to set up this bar and start bartending. It was insane, and now the 10th anniversary of it was my first time owning it. So it means a lot to me, and I respect this town, I respect all of you guys. I just am saying that, like, I'm not saying let it be no holds bar, but the extra hour I think that Chris is asking for is manageable, and I see what he's saying about not packing other bars right away. If we're gonna be a part of this thing and like keep part of holding it, at least give us that hour so it's not going to just be everyone flooding to 3 different bars, because that will happen. I seen it last year. So, that's all. And if you guys need anything from me, again, like always, please ask. I have no problem helping out, so.
Thanks, Anthony.
Okay?
And I think, I think last year, we all kind of got to know each other in this process, and you guys asked some things from us, we asked some things from you. We found common ground. The festival, I think, went off without a hitch last year really well. We're looking to emulate that same process and shift it, not even more hours, a little bit later, so it's not so early for the police to have to start their day, and go an hour later. And I think the meaning behind it is to enhance the festival, enhance the venues that are participating, following the guidelines that create the safest environment possible, because that is another hour that people are in the venues that have the security, have the guidelines in place, as opposed to venues that aren't. And gives everyone, a little bit of time to make a little bit more money in the safest possible way. And again, we're, small consideration, and again, this is where we plan to stop the lengthening of the festival, right? This is the appropriate amount of time and time frame for the festival to do the most good in the safest way possible.
Pat, did you say you wanted to revisit the Elm Street thing with the department heads?
Yeah, I don't think it's right here to make a decision, and it's not my decision to make wholly. We usually meet on things like this as a group and decide what to present to you folks on the board, and I don't feel comfortable just throwing an answer at you right now without talking to the others.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested in the safety aspect of it. I think we're talking about 60% more people than last year for an extra hour or two.
And later. which,
That's what I mean, right, for that later hour or two, which was the concern that we had heard last year, so,
which not only impacts the police officers, but impacts our volunteer fire department.
right.
Bruce, do you want to add anything now?
No, not now.
Okay.
Are you doing the shuttle bus again?
Yes. Yep, shuttles, but still not over on the Wally side. We kept them all Gerard side to kind of help alleviate that choke point as much.
One street closing we noticed last year during the festival was West Fillmore. Not closing, but one side parking, or no parking? Yeah.
I think the no parking should be easier this year because we're going to get the signs that are, I think, hopefully a little bit more visible.
It's just the way things go. Last year, we got rain that morning.
Yeah.
Our cardboard signs are on the ground, so we posted it twice. It's just the way it goes
But you're going to buy the plastic sign.
We're gonna work, yeah, they're gonna do that.
Yeah, we're going to
That's
get
an
the
easy
plastic ones.
If everything was perfect, we'll figure out a way to keep Elm Street open longer, but I would strongly still hope that we can close it down, especially in the darkness hours, just because it's a narrow road to begin with. If you park cars on both sides of it and keep it open like that, it's very dangerous.
Could you keep it open and do no parking on one side?
Or both sides.
Well, if you do both sides, then the business.
Then it impacts the
Yeah.
businesses.
They can't actually go to shop there,
Right.
you know?
Can we?
That's why I was
maybe
saying
do
earlier, on the one side.
Can we do one side?
You get the Music Fest traffic, and it doesn't matter, there's not gonna be any open spots anyways.
Yeah, they'll all be full.
They'll be full in an hour.
Right, that's true.
You guys have to talk about that.
We're gonna have to look at the plan and see what we can come up with, the 4 or 5 of us that meet on this and come up with a proposal.
Can you have something for us by the next meeting, and we could table it till then?
I think we would have it, yes, absolutely by then.
Thank you.
All right, so to table it, we've already made the motion, right?
You just gotta vote on it.
No, we're gonna table it till next time. So do we need to vote to table on it?
Are we tabling the whole application or just the closure of Elm?
The whole application?
Can we
For
vote
2
on
weeks.
the other half since we're just pending the department head's recommendation on the Elm closing? Because the rest of it doesn't seem, or can we do an approval pending the resolution of the Elm closure? Because I don't think that has an impact on the festival occurring or not, right? Like, we're just looking at how to close Elm or when to close it. I think that's,
You guys want to vote on the whole thing now? You want to table it till, when's the next meeting, 2 weeks? 16th?
I'm still uncomfortable with the hours that are on the application, going to midnight.
I guess one thing I would say on behalf of the department heads is if the board already feels strongly about hours, you could make that determination now, because we're not going to give you, you know what I mean? You see the application in front of you of what they're asking for. So if you feel strongly a certain way, we're not going to come back at you with something that you don't already want. So I guess, I don't know where the board's leaning as far as that goes.
How do we vote on part of the motion?
You can vote on part of it.
Well, the road closures aren't in the application, are they?
Yeah.
By department head.
I do believe they are on there somewhere.
They don't have to
Roads
come back
won't
next
close.
time
Yeah.
anyways.
There was a list
You can
last
do
year, I
contingent and you
didn't
can write
see it.
conditions.
I don't see an attachment to this.
There should have been a
Just
handwritten
pictures.
attachment, I believe.
Ready to go?
Maureen should have the.
I'm sorry, what?
Do you have the list of road closures on the application, correct? There's a spot for all of the roads?
I don't see that.
I don't have that.
Yeah, it's on the second last
Carefully
page.
worked on.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we emulated last year's road closures, nothing new.
It's not in our PDF.
Even in the application?
And from a festival standpoint, we're comfortable with whatever roads need to be closed. That doesn't really impact what we do beyond our bus route.
Closures are right there.
So whatever the village needs or however it's closed is fine with us.
It would be, I mean, you'd have to say contingent on.
Can I take a picture of that?
Be careful with the word.
Or do we just wait 2
And they're gonna, or you can just wait 2 weeks.
Whatever the board wants to do, I'm okay with waiting 2 weeks, make sure we get all
I
the,
would say wait. I'm not.
Yeah, I'm not-
Time either.
Right, last year I wasn't comfortable with the time that we moved it to, so this is really like a couple of hours past our original vote last year. Right, it passed
Yeah,
last
because
year, but
we
it
had
was tight.
approved it, and then the next meeting, we changed it.
Right.
And I don't really want to run into that situation again. That seemed shady in the first place.
Right, I think we had a lot of conversations about safety last year, and we're turning a couple of dials at the same time this year, so I want to understand what's behind that.
Yep.
you got a motion to table?
Motion.
Moved by Jeff, second.
One thing I will add to this, just before you finish there, is as far as, and when you're considering the after-hours crowd, we have met with Chris, and there will be a request to Liz and Rich that these buildings that are, the non-participants that remain open per their SLA agreements, that they are checked for fire code, because we don't want an overpopulation of these bars, and it's a sprawling event, and I can't say for sure how many people were in Griffin last year towards the end of the night. I was down near the bar bill, but we will be having that conversation with codes to make sure that these events aren't flooded with people after the event.
Liz, you comfortable being able to?
Oh, I didn't even know she was over that microphone.
Being able to enforce that?
I mean, well.
Their fire codes at 11 o'clock?
It's a partnership between us and the police department. I mean, I'm not gonna be there until 3 AM. I'm gonna tell you that flat out. That's
Right.
just, I mean, typically what happens is if there's an issue with occupancy, after our normal hours of operation, it comes from the police department. If they're concerned about what this occupancy in this business is, it usually starts with them.
They can act on it in the moment.
Right, and last year we had none of it. We had none of that. And the police are out there.
Which we will. I'm just saying,
In the entire village.
in that pre-event where she talks to the participants about their fire code, we'll just make sure that we're covering the others as well, so they understand they can't fill their places, to whatever levels and then, make it unsafe. But-
Thank you.
They'll be on top of that this year.
And I should clarify, just so you guys know, the fire code it's a misdemeanor, the fines are serious, so if you guys do find there are issues and the police write them, you do have the ability, your prosecutor has the ability to prosecute and deal with it that way as well, and the penalties can be pretty stiff.
Okay, thanks.
Just to go over street closures, thanks for bringing this up, Chuck. Parsons isn't on here again, same as last year. And then the one we ran into, what's the little street behind the movie theater?
Millard Fillmore Place.
Remember, we talked about making that no entrance or like local only because someone's trying to get back there who couldn't get through there. Yeah, because we had the water jugs on that road right behind the movie theater. And we were trying to go to a call. Were you in the car with me?
Yeah, I believe so.
You moved the bin.
Water barriers.
Yeah,
Yeah, right by the bookworm,
yeah.
but I don't think the other side was.
So I think we were going to put signage on Main Street at next to Rick's that said like local traffic only or whatever, something like that. People were just driving through there.
But wasn't Elm Street closed off, so how did they get to there by the bookworm?
They were going down next to Rick's and then down that side street to go
Oh, so they were
over
coming out of it, okay.
Down Temple.
Temple, that's one. Is that Temple?
I used to live on Temple.
Yeah, yeah.
It gets somewhat difficult, with the folks that live on Temple. We try our best not to completely inconvenience the residents that day.
Those
so
poor
it's-
people,
it's-
I know, yeah.
We have safety in mind and disruption of life in mind, and hopefully having a good event in mind, and sometimes they cross each other. It's
Yeah.
not perfect.
That is just a jammed up spot, yeah, no matter.
Yeah, there's like 8 houses there, and some of them are multi-unit, so
Mhm.
12, 15 households.
I was just thinking a do not enter sign or something. Helpful.
All right, we got a motion to table made by Jeff. Anyone want a second?
Second.
Second by Grace. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved? Motion is tabled till next meeting. Can I get a motion to consider approving the temporary use permit for Hamlin Park for applicant Brian Lombardo, East Aurora School District, for varsity baseball practice and home games, various dates and times from April to June?
So moved.
Moved by Kristen, second.
Second.
Second by Steve. Further discussion? We've invested in that field. It's been played on continuously for like 113 years or something. I love to see that they're still using it right in the middle of the village. And I wholeheartedly support it. And Jeff, you're keeping the field in good playable condition?
Once it dries out, we'll work it out and get some more clay out there and
Diamond
get
dirt
it
and
ready
all that
for them.
stuff.
Hopefully, we get a dry spring.
Okay. All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved? Can I get a motion to consider referring to the Planning Commission on April 7, 2026, an amendment to the site plan application from Brian Fisher of Fibbo Properties at 49 Knox Road to change the facade and the location of the exterior patios and sliding glass doors for units 1 and 2 that affect the south and west sides of the building.
Motion.
So moved.
Moved by Jeff, second by Steve. Further discussion?
Everybody jumped on it.
Liz? Liz, you got something to add on this,
I
right?
do. I just wanted to point out Rich's comment on there about potentially waiving sending this to the planning commission. All of these doors and patios were approved on the previous plan. They just relocated it because of the layouts of the units themselves. So there really is no material change at all. There's no additional egress, there's no additional hardscape. So I was just gonna throw that out there
And so
for
I
you.
think, Grace, you piloted the ability to avoid sending to the Planning Commission if it
Because
was
they get overwhelmed with things. And if it's
Right.
something they basically reviewed already and you're just shifting a door over, I'm okay with bypassing that again.
And code's okay with it?
We are, yeah.
Good with it.
Yeah,
Pretty
let's
good.
change that then, yeah.
Not doing it?
Yep.
No.
All right.
Okay.
I'm good.
So then, instead of sending it to the Planning Commission, we just set a public hearing, right?
Yes.
So Jeff and Steve, do you want to withdraw your motions?
I withdraw. Yep.
Withdrawn.
All right. Anybody want to make a motion to set a public hearing
I'll make that motion.
for this project? Made by Jeff,
Second.
second by Steve. All right. We're going to go right to the public hearing. And the date will be
April 6th.
April 6th. All right. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved? Can I get a motion to consider referring to the Planning Commission on April 7, 2026, a site plan application from James Bolioli of Benderson Development, 123 Gray Street, to replace the existing parking lot lighting with new quad dark sky compliant LED fixtures?
So moved.
Moved by Kristen, second.
Second.
Second by Grace. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved, that's referred. Can I get a motion to consider setting a public hearing for April 6, 2026, to consider a local law amending Chapter 112 demolitions?
So moved.
Moved by Molly, second.
Second.
Second by Grace. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. That public hearing is set. Can I get a motion to consider permitting the mayor to sign an agreement with Erie County for Project 5764.22 Maple Street?
So moved.
Moved by Steve, second.
Second.
Second by Grace. Further discussion?
Did they pick a year they're gonna do this work?
What's that?
Is it
This
a
year.
This year.
This year? Good.
Yeah, we talked to them about adding sidewalks down to that
Yes.
apartment building too, and they're gonna
Yeah,
do it.
they are.
They got some of those old silver maples.
Yeah, the
I think
planks
a
look
couple
nice.
have already fallen,
Right.
so they're gonna run all the way down to the entrance of those.
A resident was complaining on Griggs Place about the silver maple where the limb came down, took out the wires earlier.
Oh, yeah.
If that silver maple could be removed, and I wasn't sure, I thought you said something about it might be taken down or something.
I think most of those silver maples on Griggs are gone now.
Good, because they're a troublesome tree. They plug up the water lines, the sewer mains, and they're brittle, they tend to fall apart.
Where are you talking about, Arnie?
Greg's Place,
Oh,
the
Behind the park?
south end of the park.
oh, yeah.
And a couple of residents, when I was walking that street this weekend, voiced concern about that one particular tree that,
On the
where the
corner
limb
there?
came down and took the wires down, near the street.
Yeah, so they must have planted a lot of silvers, because I had a couple in my yard, and 40-foot branches would fall and crush the fence, and
Yeah,
they're hollow out on the inside.
Yeah, they
Before
grow,
they show
they grow
any
so
wear on
quickly
the
that the
outside.
wood is very brittle, and they fall apart. Any ice storm you have, or they're a fast-growing tree. That's one of the attractions. And they could just stick it in the ground, and they would take off, and you'd have quick shade.
I have one that's 3 trees in one. Just had it trimmed, one hanging over my house, and I said, "Oh, can you go back up and get that one?" And he looked at me and said, "The next time I get in this bucket, the whole thing's coming down." So, yeah, they are troublesome.
All right, so we got a motion for the Maple Street agreement. Anything else we need to know about this, Shane?
Jeff and I walked it with the engineer from the county, looked at the trees they need to remove to do it and the sidewalks. There was one pine tree that they had to remove, or else this sidewalk was going to have to go in between the
jog into the
tree
yard.
and the yard, or the house. And the people are literally going to lose like half their yard to make it a handicap accessible sidewalks. So they were going to talk to the homeowners about all that stuff, because one house had a little garden planted out by the sidewalk that was going to have to be pushed back a little bit.
Can you follow up and just make sure that Gina from the county
Yep.
reached out to them and the residents are on board and they know what's going on? Just
Yep.
to try to over-communicate.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
But they were excited that they were able to fit this project in for this year, so.
Good.
Yeah, that's
And-
great.
And they have been working with the funeral home, because the funeral home was going to have to move their retaining wall back a couple feet for the sidewalk, because it was right up to the sidewalk, and once they started digging up the sidewalk, that old retaining wall was going to fail.
Yeah.
So I put them in touch with the owners, and they're working that out between the two of them, so.
Very good.
Can we remind the county also not to park their construction vehicles on the tree lawn?
Yep.
Oh, good call. Good point. Good
Thank you.
I also walked Maple with Jesse and Jared from Bradley Tree, and we looked at every tree. There's going to be some pine trees, silver maples and Norway maples. Jesse was good with everything that we talked about, and I asked
Jesse
the
from the
county.
tree board.
Yep. And I asked the county if they would replace the trees, put it in their bid, and they said they would, and they're going to get us 15 new trees.
Oh, great. Nicely done, Jeff. Thank you for doing that. All right, moved by Steve, second by Grace. Any other discussion from the board? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. Can I get a motion to consider appointing Alexander Pierce to the position of police officer as a transfer at step 4 of the CBA to commence on or after March 16, 2026?
So moved.
Moved by Steve, second?
Second.
Second by Grace. Further discussion? Pat, anything you want to add?
Stand up. Yes, this is Alexander Pierce. He has been a police officer with the City of Rochester Police Department for the past 7 years. Alex is from East Aurora, class of 2012. He found employment in the City of Rochester and recently reached out and inquired as to whether or not we were hiring. So we started off with, you work where? How long have you worked there? 7 years in the inner city of Rochester. I said, come out and ride with one of the guys some night and see if our style of policing is something you're going to be able to get used to, because he's
Probably very
obviously
similar.
dealing with different type of crime fighting where he's at currently. He came out and rode, emailed me, I think, that night, said, I'm still very interested, and we got the ball rolling from there. We've gone through the process. He'll be a lateral transfer approved by Civil Service, and he currently resides in Batavia with his wife, Tori, also an East Aurora graduate, and their 5-year-old son, and they're excited to be coming back home, provided you vote yes. So we welcome him
Great.
after your vote, and we'll do a little quick swearing
We'll
in.
see. Could get really awkward. All right. Alexander or Alex? Alex, all right. All right, moved by Steve, second by Grace. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Thank you.
We're going to do a quick swearing in, if that's okay. It's going to be new tradition here.
Oh, I like it.
Basically, what World has us copying other people. It's a special night, we want you to feel.
Who's social mediaing it?
All right. Alex, please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Alex Pierce, do hereby pledge and declare that I will support the Constitution of the United States.
Oh, boy. I pledge and declare that I will support the Constitution of the United States.
The Constitution of the State of New York.
The Constitution of the State of New York.
That I will faithfully discharge the duties of the position of police officer
That I will faithfully discharge the duties of the position of police officer
of the East Aurora Police Department
of the East Aurora Police Department
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
All right. Congratulations. Welcome.
I always felt kind of unceremonious.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think that's nice.
Yeah.
Can I get a motion to consider approving Chad Egloff as a member of the East Aurora Fire Department?
Motion.
Moved by Jeff, second.
Second.
Second by Ernie. Further discussion? Bruce, anything you want to tell us? Okay. Oh, there he is. How you doing? Hi, Chad.
Yeah, where's this ceremony?
Yeah, right? We got to start doing that, too. All right, any other discussion from the board?
Welcome.
I just
Thank
wanna-
you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to
Thank you.
say that we really appreciate the fire department, the fact that you guys are volunteers and you put your own time in day and night whenever you're needed, and you do it for the community. So thank you so much.
Looking forward to the opportunity.
Good. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. Congratulations. Welcome, Chad. Can I get a motion to consider approving budget adjustments for the 2025-2026 fiscal year?
Motion.
Moved by Molly, second.
Second.
Second by Kristen. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. Can I get a motion to consider setting a public hearing on April 6, 2026 to review the village 2026-2027 tentative budget and capital plan?
So moved.
Moved by Ernie, second.
Second.
Second by Steve. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. Moving on to old business, the comprehensive plan priority discussion. I know the planning commission was here, Dale's here. Anything you want to add, Dale, before we get into it?
Not particularly. You recall, I wasn't here at the last meeting, and simply just dropped this at that point on the village board, that we're looking for some direction to help us make some decisions on projects. The comprehensive plan is now 20-some years old, and the priorities expressed 20 years ago versus the priorities that we might have today, I think merit some reflection. And in particular, we look at the priorities given in the comprehensive plan to manufacturing land use, and we know that in recent years, there's been a large interest in land uses appropriate for senior housing. And how do we strike a balance between those land uses? So that when we make recommendations, it's consistent with what this village board thinks is appropriate for today's environment. So that's simply where we left it last time, was to ask you for some input, your advice, whether or not we should even go back and revisit parts of the comprehensive plan. It doesn't have to be the whole plan. There may be parts of the comprehensive plan need to be targeted and looked at what we thought 20 years ago versus what we think now. So that's really where we left it.
How does the board feel about it? You've had a couple weeks to think about it. Not a lot of industrial zone space, right? That's open, but there also hasn't been anything done with it, by the private owners. Senior housing is definitely a priority from everybody I talk to. The village is looking at adding village senior housing, affordable senior housing on Girard. The people who own Trinity on 20A going into our I met with them and they expressed an interest in adding senior housing, an additional building next to their Trinity Park apartments. And then we have an applicant, of course, on Quaker, looking to add 100-plus units there at the post office. That's the one that is zoned industrial. And that's what brought, I mean, yeah, generally comprehensive plan, but that's something that we need to consider in the near term.
You know, everybody mentions the senior housing, and I don't disagree with that. However, my concern is, do we absolutely need to fill every void in East Aurora, in the village, with something? Also, how many homes, how many cars, how many people? You talked about 3 different developments there, all of them over 100 people or 100 units, which could be 1.5 cars per unit, and look at Main Street from 9 to 5 right now. So personally, that's a concern I have is, do we jam up the town even further to allow senior housing? And believe me, I'm heading that way myself to downsize, so, and I kind of like it here too. So it's a double-edged sword, and I'm torn, and I'm ambivalent on both. So.
I guess my question would be, if the plan is so antiquated, why wouldn't we look at the plan and make sure that there could be other things that are priorities that we're not even thinking of? And I guess I would go back to the plan itself, to Dale's point, maybe not the whole thing or just parts of it, just to make sure that it's reflective of what we want moving forward, and then see what fits into it or not, rather than do it the other way. It seems counterintuitive to me a little bit, but.
And if you look at the plan, I mean, it's still very relevant. I mean, it's 20 years, but it is still very relevant to most of the priorities that the village is looking at now. But, I mean, maybe we need to do like a work session with public comment.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it could hurt.
It's also a very different village from when the plan was first created. It's not the same village.
Yeah, Main Street didn't look like that 20 years ago.
And it was, you still had a defunct grain elevator that smelled bad, and you had, a lot of, it wasn't what it is today. And you also didn't have all of the development around us, which has now occurred, with housing on Mill Road, which didn't exist, and those are fields. Woods, you also didn't have, this additional development in Marilla or in, south of us, homes being built.
We didn't have
rural
Nye
area.
Hill, we didn't have Victoria Heights, we didn't have a lot of things.
A lot of that.
Was the rink even there?
So, the issue I have, and I think this is we could very well, if we overdevelop and we pack too many units within our community, that we destroy exactly the thing that we are here to enjoy. And, Steve and I and others have lived in this community most of our lives, or all of our lives. And I've seen the village become a better place, a nicer place to live and raise children.
If you don't think we need.
But also a busier place. And how much busier do we want to be?
That's better.
Is really the question I have is, do you want to put 113 apartments on Quaker Road? Well, that's already a very busy intersection. I drive twice a day. And trying to negotiate that curve, where, Mill comes in and it's backed up, and the Gray Street comes in there, and it can get hairy.
Yeah.
So I just, we need to, I think, kind of rein that in a little bit. But I do agree that we have a need for senior housing, and I'm 61 years old, and, You know, I don't know. I just,
Yeah, I'm not trying to pawn work off on you guys since I'm not going to be here. But I,
are you suggesting we have a
come
work
to public
session and
meetings.
Doing it tomorrow.
I mean, I just think that it wouldn't hurt to
Yeah.
take a beat. Is this what we want? Get some public input on it.
Public comment, for
And
sure.
once we know, then
Yeah.
move forward. That's all.
What do you guys think about March 30th? It's a 5-Monday month in March.
Or whatever.
So, I mean, for the work session, yeah.
I'm not getting us out of it.
We
It's
we
March
have
30th.
2 meetings left.
Yeah. I mean, I can do
Extra
the
credit.
30th, that's fine.
I could do the 30th,
Yeah, that's fine.
work session.
Yeah.
What time do you want to do it, 7 or earlier?
Earlier
You want earlier?
than 7? Yeah,
You want 6?
6?
6 would be good.
Everybody good with 6? 6. We can make it?
Sure, it's fine by me.
Sorry.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, especially since the advertiser's here, I say this for every municipality that goes through this, for public comment, especially on comprehensive plans. From the law side, it is very helpful to me when I have written comments that are from people well thought out, because then in 20 years, when you ask me why were decisions made and how do I defend things when I have zoning and Dale and everyone else have to come before you, us having written documentation is very helpful.
Yeah.
So I encourage written comments. Of course, everyone to come and participate, but written comments are also very helpful. Thank
Plus,
you.
if you get them in advance in writing, it gives you time to do some research on them and make sure you have a
And you can
well thought out answer.
think on it, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So 6 o'clock, March 30th, we'll do a work session to discuss the priorities of the comprehensive plan. And it will be welcoming public comment. And how does the public let us know in advance, Maureen?
They
Or
can email questions? me if they have, questions or comments. Comments can get emailed to me. If they have questions, I don't know if we'll necessarily have an answer for the question, but they can come to the meeting. On
Yeah, you
March
should get the
30th.
question in advance too, you
Yeah.
want that?
There's a
Yeah.
village board email that comes to all of us.
What's that, Grace?
The village board email that comes to all of us.
Yeah.
For the sake of record to make it easier, I normally suggest that people submit those things to the clerk, so they all go to one place. Not that the
Either
clerk
way, I
has to
get it.
respond, just that, we can keep it all in the mailbox then.
It doesn't matter, I get it either way.
Yeah,
They can send it to the village, Sean, they can
Oh,
send it to
sure,
the village board
absolutely
email.
that. If that's-
Yeah, we'll just, then we all get a look at it right away.
You said 6 PM, right?
6 PM, everybody wanted?
Yep.
I'm easy with either one.
Yep, 6.
Okay. All right, good.
Thank you.
Cool, thank you, Dale.
Thank
We have
you.
a planning commission meeting tomorrow night, so I
Tomorrow
can
night.
report this back to them.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dale, for all the time you put in and the fact that you care, buddy. All right, and then moving on to new business, the resident concern regarding center at South Street. I know we've been talking about that for years. People have commented on the fact that you come down south and you stop at the stop sign and it's hard to see who's coming up the hill on the left from the Legion Way there towards Beach. So, have we ever, I don't know, we haven't sent that to the safety committee, have we?
Definitely not recently.
Yeah.
You know when that area is a problem is, especially in the summer, I think that corner resident has either bushes or some vine or something that kind of grows.
Yeah.
And that's when I know I have to creep out a little further to get that left-handed look.
And the elevation change there, it just drops.
Right.
Yeah, I go down that way all the time.
Yeah, you get the berm, and
Yeah.
then the road drop.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, please. Hi.
They have a notice to them to relocate those grasses in that location, from that
Because
location.
we've asked them a couple
so-
times to trim.
We
them,
have.
right?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. And they
I
usually
brought
just
it
go
up.
out and cut them, but after last fall, I asked them to relocate
Relocate
the
altogether.
plantings this spring that are non-compliant.
And they were amenable to it?
We will see. Or we will continue our process.
But if you
You
did it,
spoke to them or wrote a letter?
I had to paperwork. I wrote them a letter.
Oh, okay.
Sent them a notice.
I would like the safety committee to take a look at the idea of a three-way stop there, because that would slow traffic coming into the village considerably, and it would probably make it easier for people to cross too, that are going to the Legion, as there is no sidewalk on either side to get to the Legion, or those condos, right?
Correct.
No.
Right.
It ends there, yeah.
Mr. Mayor, I just, as speaking for the CH committee, I would recommend maybe at this point, getting direction on contacting Gina with Erie County, since it is a county road. And ultimately, whatever the safety committee decides is going to go to them, and they're going to do a traffic study there, and they're going to tell us whether we're allowed to do that or not, or whether they approve of it. So we probably could skip that step just because
Bless you.
Bless you.
that location is kind of troublesome, and the complaint coming forth from the resident is a retired DOT engineer. So I'm just assuming that we probably want to just ask for a traffic study
Right to the
there.
County?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like it.
Shane, is that
Yep.
something you send to them?
Yep.
Thank
Skip
you.
the middleman.
All right, anything else on the center at South Street? All right, second, speakers and communications. Anybody have any comments? Public? Miss?
Mary Ann Colopy, Chair of the Historic Preservation Commission. Couple of things. You're talking about the comprehensive plan. Historic preservation has now become a large part of our concern in the village. We need to be brought to the table when you talk about the comprehensive plan. When you talk, several years ago, there was a design guidelines plan that was drawn up for commercial buildings. That was never codified to have teeth to it. That is, also needs to be part of the comprehensive plan. We can't just have suggestions for what we want our village to look like. We need to have some teeth to it.
Agreed.
Going along with that, consideration for an architectural review board or putting within the historic preservation teeth to make us also Historic Preservation Commission and Architectural Review Board, which several, I've seen several committees do that. The next thing, I'm very disappointed in the vote for the Stonegate Mansion. You said to revisit in 6 months. Is it now on the calendar to be looked at in September? Is that what the suggestion, revisit in 6 months, did? Okay, and so do we have a date for that, or how does that actually work for it to be on the calendar?
Liz said she still has to do her inspection, and I would think it would be 6 months after the inspection. That makes sense to you?
Okay. I would, when we look at our code, and our code gives criteria for buildings that are eligible for local landmarking. The building in question meets all the criteria. When we look at the code for what the purpose of the Historic Preservation Commission is, the building in question fits all the purposes of that. Nowhere in the code does it say, is the building eligible for grants? Is the building too costly to maintain? That is not the purpose of historic preservation. The purpose of this is to maintain an awareness of our past. It's a source of our civic pride. It brings beauty to our village, and it is an attractive part of our village. I would like to point out that there have been at least 3 or 4 public meetings regarding the landmarking of this building. I heard one person being concerned about the landmarking. I heard 5 or 6 people that were very pleased and encouraged about the landmarking of the building. I have not received communications from anybody who is against the landmarking of this building. Have you folks received direct communications?
I've gotten 2 texts from members of Stonegate.
Okay? And they were not communicated to me, so I could respond to what historic preservation actually was. I would have appreciated being able to communicate with those folks.
Okay.
Rumors about ADA compliance. No, there's no ADA compliance. It is classified as a residential building. These folks also, it is almost like we are denying the local landmarking because they have been apathetic about the local landmarking. There has not, 22 people, 17 people voted for demolition out of 87 people. More than half did not respond to their Board of Managers survey. So instead of being proactive, we're sort of just laying back and saying, well, they're not telling us one way or the other, we're not going to do anything. You mentioned demolition by neglect. Demolition by neglect can happen in very small pieces. A water leak can then become a sewer leak, can then it becomes cheaper to take down that stucco and throw up some vinyl siding, and you've lost the historical integrity of a building. I will be back here in 6 months in September to once again bring this up for your consideration.
Anyone else, speakers and communications? Yes, Kurt?
I want to talk about demolition. And the reason why the Stonegate Mansion was up for consideration for landmarking is there was a preparation to demolish the building. Okay, so the issue isn't that it's a landmark or not. The issue is whether that building is even going to be there. Okay. About 3 or 4 months ago, we were talking about Main and North, where a perfectly fine cape was essentially demolished to put up a larger house. I understand people want larger houses, and quite frankly, East Aurora, you're talking about reviewing the comprehensive plan, okay? East Aurora is a very attractive township. We all know this, okay? And here is a case where they took what was, go on Zillow and take a look at that cape that was for sale. It was a fine cape. I'd move in a minute, okay? It's a little bit small, okay, if you have kids, okay? But for, a couple, it was a perfectly fine house. Somebody decided that lot was more attractive, as just a piece of land that they could put something new on, okay, than to save a house that was perfectly acceptable and obviously had market value. It was over $300,000, I believe. And it was a cape. It's a small house. There are other houses in our village. Take a look at real estate transactions. There are cottages, okay? There are capes that essentially are attractive for development now as wipe it off, okay, demolish it, and put up a new house because the land and East Aurora is more attractive than a small house is, okay? I'm not saying everything should be saved, okay? But I'm, number one, very happy that we're going to consider this demolition change in the law, okay? And it needed to be done. And, Maple and North was the poster child for it, okay? So you're doing the right thing there. But the other thing is there is not only demolition by neglect, there is demolition in the cases I've just mentioned by intent, okay? I'm going to put your feet in the fire a little bit here, okay? And I don't expect to get the answer that maybe my question will suggest. What is the status of 3 landmark properties? They're locally landmarked, they're nationally landmarked. Thank you for filing suit to have those properties taken care of properly. Do we all know what we're talking about here? We're talking about the 0 South Grove property, otherwise called the Roycroft Warehouse, and the 2 properties, the Fournier properties on Walnut Street. And in the 10 years I've lived here, there has been essentially code enforcement action and essentially at least casual interest, okay, in seeing these properties taken care of, to the point where, again, last September you filed, or maybe it was August, there was there was a lawsuit, I guess, or whatever, I don't know what it's called, okay? Had a big number attached to it. And I know it's in process legally, and you can't tell me what's going on probably, can you?
No.
Legally, we can't.
No.
And that's fine. I expected that answer, obviously. Okay.
We're not being evasive, it's just,
No, no, I realize, okay. But do you know the answer to that question? Because you are trustees and the mayor of this village. So I would hope that since the last time that you folks met 2 weeks ago, you got an update on that in your package, okay? You know, years ago, I was told that they did a structural survey on the warehouse, and they said, you know, we need to make sure that this is structurally sound. The same wooden buttresses, a buttress is something that leans up against the building, okay? Why do all the cathedrals, let's talk about Notre Dame. Why does Notre Dame have buttresses? Because if they didn't have buttresses, the buildings were so tall and built of stone that they would have fallen over. The only time you use a buttress is either decoratively or to essentially reinforce something. That building isn't structurally sound. I don't care what the engineer said, okay? It isn't structurally sound because the owner felt the need to essentially prop it up with buttresses, okay? Now, I'll take you one step further. The Globe Hotel. You are a year or two away from losing the Globe Hotel. What in the hell are you going to do about it?
Liz, do you have any updates on closing the loophole that we discussed for North and Maple?
You scheduled a public hearing for the demolition code
Yeah.
revision.
Mhm.
So that, we believe, will greatly decrease that capability in the future. And that code was discussed at length at multiple meetings with Historic Preservation, and has their recommendation as well for adoption of that. So we think that that's a clearer demolition code going forward.
You guys are comfortable with it?
Yes. Demolition by neglect is not, demolition by neglect is a difficult thing to enforce, because unless we're made aware of issues that are happening within a building, I mean, we don't go into every single building within the village. I cannot get into the Globe Hotel. I can't. I have to I can't on my own unless I'm brought in by the property owner or someone invites me into that building. I cannot just go in without a court order to go in and see a building. There are limits to.
I think I talked to a realtor who brought somebody in and they made them sign a release and they wore like hard hats when they went in there.
I know
So
people.
is that the
when
kind of thing that, can you do that? Can you get them to let you in there and show you around? Or,
Not without a court order. I can ask.
Yeah, can you just ask nicely?
I have asked
they've said
repeatedly.
no?
They have not responded.
Well, let's get a court order, because I was
I
actually.
don't want to buy it.
I was looking.
You say it's grown?
I
No,
was.
he said, tell him you want to buy it. I don't want to buy
No,
it.
I was walking past the Globe today and looking at it and thinking exactly the thoughts that have come up tonight about, holy cow. I mean, and I know of people who toured the building thinking about purchasing the property and have told me that there are leaks, there's mold in there, and they don't want to get involved with the property because it needs so much. There's foundational issues, some other stuff going on, but I don't know, maybe a court order would be something we should do, because I was just thinking about that today, that this building is so important to Main Street, and we got to get in there. We got to find out what exactly is going on, because the bank apparently doesn't care. You know, they're letting it go. There's the mold on the vinyl siding in the front is disgusting. Last year during the Taste of East Aurora, I had to request them to weed whack the weeds coming up along the foundation.
The bank took it back, is what you're telling me?
It's a bank, it's owned by the bank, yeah.
I don't think they've completed the process
But
of
it's a
foreclosure
bank,
yet.
it's, yeah.
I don't think they've completed
They
it.
haven't completed the process?
No.
But
I mean,
it's
to
been
what end?
foreclosed on.
I don't mean to, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Go ahead.
So you get in there and you see it, but
Right.
then what are you going to do about it?
Well, that's the thing.
I mean,
is
I'm not
if we
trying to
get
be
in-
flippant here, but, I mean,
If we get in and then the village decides that this is a building worth saving, then the village board is going to have to decide what that action is.
It's better than not knowing and then
yeah, that's
having it just happen, right?
Oh, I don't disagree with
Yeah.
you in any
Yeah.
way, shape,
Yeah.
or form, but I mean, if there's a roof leaking, then there's emergency measures that would need to be put into place. And obviously, the property owner, who is in the process of foreclosure, is not going to do anything to it, and the
Correct.
bank is unlikely to do anything to it. That's been my experience with other banks throughout the municipalities, but,
well, they haven't today, so.
right.
So who would that fall on? The village is gonna go in there and fix it?
Yeah, who's?
Yeah.
We order
Oh,
it fixed
don't
and
know.
add it to the tax rolls?
Okay. If I can interrupt on this
This is
one.
getting out of my.
No, we'll make this very simple, very simple. If there is an issue with the building stability, again, and Liz, there's no notice of violation order remedy currently on the property?
No.
Okay, so I will leave Liz's part, if she finds anything or how she gets in and sees anything, we'll leave that to her, right? So for the purposes of discussion, you assume that the code enforcement officer finds that. Even without, it might be worth reaching out to the bank, because it's very standard for banks to ask judges to put these types of property into receivership to preserve them to the end of the process. So it may be something that their lawyer may do, that their lawyer might be willing to do for the bank. If, again, this is assuming facts that I don't have, so I'm just explaining that if we were presented with those facts, there are other options. Now, of course, you can also do your own code enforcement. Your prosecutor would do it, or I could do it special prosecutor as well. But, because I think the town prosecutor does all your prosecution, right? Yeah. So, I mean, we can come in and special prosecute for a particular issue. That's not a problem. I'm doing others. But the point is, your local court is not the place where you're going to be able to get the remedies you need to stabilize the building. You're going to have to go to a higher level court, which is fine. It's not a problem. But the facts need to be made in the record first, and they need to have a chance to address them. And that's from Liz's side. So if the other way to do it without going through Liz's side is to call up, and again, I'm happy to do that, call up the attorney for the bank on the other side and say, we're getting complaints, we haven't substantiated them yet for this, but we wanted to make you aware of this, as we commence our process. And perhaps they take action before we go through our process. So that's just general
Can't hurt to
advice.
nudge them, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Again,
Or no?
I
Is there a
do,
downside to that course of action?
no, given the concerns of the board and the importance of the building, I don't see a downside to a phone call that way. And then from Liz's part, I don't get involved with Liz's part. Liz will do her part, of course, and we'll see what comes of that. That's what gives this board its options. But separate from that, giving the bank's attorney a heads up would be another method in the short term to kind of do a stopgap measure.
Is it the kind of thing you and Shane can work
Very
on
simply.
together?
Yeah, and I assume because they filed papers, so the names will be on the papers. Yeah.
But this is all so frustrating because, I've been on the board 20 years now, and Pete's been on it longer, and we've been dealing with the Boyce Lydell properties, the Fortier house, which has moss growing down the roof, and the Bungle house, which is a mess and caving in, the warehouse. I went on the news trying to address the problem. We went to court, and it was a $25 fine, or whatever it was, $20. And then now it's going through the process again. But it's so frustrating that this takes so long, that this is that this process, and it bothers me that these old buildings, by the time we ever get to the point where we can take possession or the actions taken, it might be too late. This has been going on I'm speaking of the Walnut properties and the storehouse, years.
Yeah, you did a great job with Irving Price House.
Well, that was.
So it can be done, is what
It can be done,
right?
but it just takes so long, and
We
that's
got
not
the
good.
ruling for the Roycroft property, and then they awarded us, what, a $25 fine or something?
That has
Yes.
been since fixed by the state legislature, but
And it just seems to never end, and
We have a-
these are very important properties.
So we got the first step with the Globe, and Kurt, appreciate you and your passion. Anybody else want to speak on any topic? Very good. Department head report. Pat?
Busy getting the new hire ready, up to speed. The new part-time dispatchers that you approved a meeting or two ago are currently working in training. Maureen found a nice opportunity through congressional spending that I've been working on answering all the questions to, so we can submit that before a deadline. And that's about it.
All right, thank you. Good find with Alex. He seems like a good guy.
Eagle Scout.
That says something,
Yeah.
right? Not a lot of
He's a
people.
good guy. No, he's a
that
good-
age can stay with something for 6
He was in our
years.
Boy Scout troop. He's a good guy.
Yeah?
He's a good guy.
You knew him back in the day?
Mm-hmm.
All right, Bruce?
96 calls for February and 209 to date. We had the famous now horse rescue at the beginning of February. Got report that both horses are doing very well.
How, can I just ask, like, I was watching as it was going on, I thought of driving down there just to see how it was all going to shake out, but it looked like it was on a really long driveway, and I figured I wouldn't be able to get too close. How did they get the horses out of there?
The one I'm not sure of, I walked back out front and they got it out, but just some pulling on it with some ropes and stuff. The second one they
You
got.
like lasso them around the neck, or you got to get in and get the ropes under them, or some
Yeah,
sort of
both.
float them out with some sort of device?
Yeah,
Is there a horse?
the second one, they
location
got
device?
2 ropes around like the body of it, the chest of it, and one around the neck, and was able to help, and then the horse was able to help as well,
Yeah.
get itself out. And that one was a 2,000-pound Belgium horse, so that one was very big.
So it's not guys with holding ropes, guys and girls holding ropes, is it?
Yeah.
Or you hook into a truck or
Yeah.
ATV?
No, they ended up doing it with guys and girls holding it. We had Orchard Park. They have an ice water rescue team. They come out and helped us out.
great.
And yeah, we did use the side-by-side and use the winch on it to help as well. I believe that's the first time our side-by-side's been used on an actual call other than events. And that worked well going
Saved
through
the
the snow to get out there. And yep. And no major fires or anything in our district. We did go to Holland to help with a fire and out to Springbrook to help with a fire early in February.
Very good. Thanks, Bruce. Jeff?
Feel it real quick. I think we do need a board resolution for Shane to request the traffic study on Center Street. Gina did request that before. So we need one more resolution, but now Jeff can talk.
All right, can I get a, what do we need, a motion to
Request.
request to send it to the county for the South Street and Center three-way intersection traffic study?
So moved.
Moved by Steve, second.
Second.
Second by Grace. Further discussion?
Are they going to do the traffic study now while it's cruddy out and nothing going on?
I don't know. Good question.
No, they would do it, I would imagine they'll wait another month.
Okay.
It would take a process to okay it first.
Okay.
But definitely during the school year when it's busiest. 'cause
If
they-
it's at least another month, then that should be fine.
Yeah.
Just now is not. great. We've had that happen before. Okay, then I'm good.
Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved? There's your resolution, Maureen. Pat, anything else?
You got me in trouble. I know.
Jeff?
We've been busy with water leaks. We've had probably close to 20 in the past month and a half. Other than
How
that,
come they're not when it's 75 degrees out and it's nice to be out there digging in the
doesn't
middle of the
happen.
night?
Doesn't happen
Well,
that
there's
way.
this thing called freezing.
Yeah. I'm guessing with the warm up coming.
Thing called science.
I'm guessing with the warm up coming, we're gonna have some more because the ground will be moving. Other than that, we've been patching roads with cold patch. This week, I'm hoping to get our street sweeper out, start cleaning up some debris. We have also been doing some maintenance on all the garbage cans for down at Hamlin Park. That's about it.
Good. Can you stay after National Fuel to make sure they're doing the cleanup portion? Not the reseeding landscape part, which I understand is actually going to be in May. I know they said April and May, but I heard May. But like the dirt and mud on the sidewalks and rocks and all that stuff that's all over the place from the project they're doing.
Yeah, I'll
I mean,
keep
that
an
kind
eye
of
out.
thing, I understand they have a separate team or whatever that comes and does the cursory cleanup at right after the project's done.
Yep.
Well before the landscaping, but if you could just make sure, I think, like, in their terms and conditions, that they have like 6 months to do the cleanup, but we don't want to wait 6 months.
You
so.
can get a payout for them from that. I had it when I lived somewhere else. You can ask for a payout to do landscaping yourself.
Just do it yourself?
Hmm.
Oh,
It's not that much, but if you don't want them doing it,
yeah.
pay you out.
Can you ask about that too?
They convinced me it wasn't worth it, but they will.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll talk to my contact at
If you
National
would.
Fuel.
Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate it.
Said
Liz?
we're-
Okay. Shane?
Just so everybody's aware, apparently, there's internet or a email scam going about. Chris from Music Fest got an email stating it was from me, from the village, stating he owed a very large invoice for his application.
What did it
for
say your
planning.
title was?
Director.
Director of what?
It just said director.
Director of Planning something or other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we put a little blurb out on Facebook.
How
So-
sophisticated is that?
Very.
That's not just sending a, hey, buy me, gift cards for Christmas presents to all the village board members in New York State.
Yeah.
That's like specific to an agenda item.
That's
Right.
like
Controlling
looking at
agendas.
agendas and
AI
doing that, man.
Getting good at that.
Can our tech people check into where it came from?
I can have.
Nick has done that before, but it's usually like a generic, like this was .USA email or
They can't find
something.
the IP address where it came from?
I don't think the IP address is in the email.
No, well, can a tech guy find it? That's my,
I'll ask him.
Yeah, he can look at it. The last time we sent him one, he couldn't figure
It's
anything out.
almost definitely not in this
because what,
country.
Probably
what
not.
laws did they break there, Joe?
Oh, a lot. The problem is not about the breaking the law part. The problem is
Enforcing.
finding it.
Yeah.
And it is, I believe the FBI has a notice hotline, so we can certainly submit the email to the FBI, but you would be shocked how good these people are getting. And the way a lot of even high-level, especially when it comes to municipalities, high-level international criminal operations are set up to do this type of work, to clean money, and they have cells that are smaller groups that master group makes software to make all this stuff easy. Subgroups take it on and hit as many people as possible with the software while it's still with the algorithms while they're still functional until they can be patched or whatever they're doing can be fixed by the people. When it comes to phishing with AI, it's getting very good and very distressing. So there's very little that can be done. There's many things that are illegal about it, but finding the people, almost impossible.
It's happening to other municipalities too.
Yeah.
And this is the second one we've had. The first one was just a weird planning one, I think.
Yeah.
And then this is the second time we've had it, and I know other municipalities have had it, so I've heard from other clerks.
So Maureen put a little blurb on Facebook to make people aware of that. Maureen and I also met with AMR the 18th of last month, for our new contract. Everything's going to stay the same instead of the past way of projecting the raise each year. They would just want to do a flat 3%. So we sent the drawn-up contract to Chris
Yep.
to look at it, and hopefully by next meeting, we'll have that in front of you to approve.
Does that still have rent in it?
That's different, but we do get rent, yes.
Yeah.
For the building.
So that's a separate agreement? One is just the coverage and the other one is their lease?
Is the lease, yep.
And that's it.
Do we, for the email scam, should we like put a note on the water bills or something like that to let people know?
Does it affect the public yet, other than Chris?
If we're thinking it's so targeted that it's not.
My only concern with that is that it's going to confuse people because you do get emails from the water.
Oh, okay, yeah, let's not do
You
that.
don't get water, you don't get emails from planning or zoning, so it's just going to be people who are applicants. So
Yeah.
maybe when we have applicants turn things in, we can kind of try to let them know.
I like that better,
Because
thank you.
that's more the issue right now.
Okay.
I don't want to confuse because now with the water billing.
Yeah.
We have where people are set up automatically to get their water bill via email if they
Okay.
want. And then they can do the credit card payment and the ACH, I'm hoping to have done by next week. I have another meeting and hopefully they fix the last glitch and we'll be good to go.
Awesome.
With ACH, so.
Okay, thanks.
What are you going to do without the late fee income that I give you every water bill?
I don't
go
know
on
what I'm going to do
ACH,
about it, but I
you're
won't
gonna-
have to track
You're going to
anybody
miss out on
down.
like $60 a year.
I won't be sending out mailers, so it won't matter.
So I set mine up on auto pay and I just estimate high. And I've been doing it for years, so now I have like a reserve built up there.
Nice.
We
And then
call
I
them
get
every once
yelled
in a
at,
while.
I give too much money
Too
in
much
the
money in there.
water account. There's no interest on it either, is there?
No,
But I'm always covered.
don't do that.
You won't get my fees, Maureen. All right, Maureen, you got anything?
Yeah, I'm working, well, me and Jeff and Shane are all working with the engineers. You know that we are having that water study done of the water system throughout the village. They're working on that. It's not ready yet, but we're kind of having a preliminary meeting because they're kind of getting close to the end of that. But as part of that, we've discussed putting in two different requests for $2 million each and having to do an application for our water infrastructure. So we're working on that. We have a meeting this week, so hopefully more information to come on that.
Is it done?
And then the budget, because that's life right now.
I'm sure that's taking up a lot of your time. Anything else, Maureen?
Nope.
Very good. Steve?
All set?
Kristen?
All set.
You thought about it.
I did.
Want to take a second? We'd come down here and come back.
No,
around.
no, I'm good, I'm good.
All right. Ernie?
Also,
Jeffrey?
The only thing I wanted to circle back to is the hours for Music Fest. My personal opinion is we leave it at the hours that we had last year, but add the extra hour on for the rink. So I think last year we stopped at 10
1 to
everywhere.
9 for music.
1 to 9.
For the venues.
1 to 9 for, 1 to 9 for music, for the, all the establishments, and then till 10 at the rink, and then they have to be cleared out by 11 from the rink.
Did we do anything extenuating for the rink last year? Did anybody remember?
I don't think we
I
did.
don't
I
think
think,
so.
I
It
don't
had
think
the
we
same
did. We
art
talked
style.
about it. We talked
Yeah.
about shoving everybody up there, so it helped out the police and fire that everybody was up there. But I really think, like you said, it's a better day event. And pushing it to midnight, I think straps our resources, both police and fire. And I think that's unfair, especially with the volunteers that support this event.
Yeah, and if
to
they have
make them stay
3,000
out
more
to mid-
people, right?
with more people, which we agree to, but it also pushes it off too late into the night. And I think compromise is leave the hours the way they are, but we'll give them the extra hour at the rink.
We have to remember, he only had 5,000 people last year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Coupled with, getting their application
Yep.
in so late.
yep.
We give them one more hour at the rink. keep the times the same.
Yep.
with
3,000 more people.
3,000 more people.
That's my,
Yeah,
that's my
they'll do
Are
better.
you saying 3 to 9 though, or 1 to 9? 'Cause he's
No,
only asking
one,
to start
one to
at
nine.
8.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Last year, we did 1 to 9.
If you want
Everybody
to
was
start
cleared
at
out by 10. And then 1, so what I'm saying is we do the same hours as last year, where the venue, the establishments are cleared out, our music ends at 9, cleared out by 10, but the rink can end their music at 10 and be cleared out by 11.
If he wants to start at 3, he can. I think we just say the event times we're going to allow are 1 to 9.
Right.
Yeah, if he wants to start later, you're right.
Yeah.
And then it plays into the Elm Street as far as the closure, and I know they talked about Elm Street Bakery's closed at, what, 4? I think that's it, right?
Yep. And if there's something the team can look at with regard to maybe keeping that street open, maybe
Yeah.
no parking on the south, is it the south end?
Can you eliminate parking on that street that day?
Well, the limiting the
Totally?
parking though will hurt won't that hurt like Elm Street, like if you take that parking out in front of them?
Yeah, but to Pete's point, as soon as that day starts, people try to park as close as they can so they can have
Yeah,
a
you're
car
right.
right there.
And that car's there all day.
They're there all day. They're not moving.
They would still have access to their parking lot if the road stays open though, which is,
Well, they still
Yeah.
do off of Oakwood.
but isn't that just a one way?
Not for every other business over there.
Right. It's like left
Because I thought that
coast.
was an issue last year where they had access to that parking lot, but it's
It's a one-way.
It's a one way.
It's so bad there that.
Yeah, who's going to be open that day? Elm Street, Left Coast.
Talking about the candle
The
place.
guy said the Caboose is going to open again.
You know, you could shut it off right after the taco driveway and leave Jay's and their driveway open from Oakwood, but then shut that off from there to Main.
But then people will try to turn into there.
Yeah.
And the pedestrians will still fill into the street. It's not a good situation.
I've been told the Caboose is not going to reopen.
Yeah, I talked to the guy who said he had his kids running it. Right? He had his kids open it up?
Brian,
Yeah.
yeah, Cora managed it last year.
Yeah, but that's
Oh, did she?
supposedly with new ownership, they've got other plans.
Yeah. We'll see.
And
Yeah, we'll see
that, we'll see what happens, but
what the timeline is for that.
it's likely that it may not open this summer.
Maybe.
It's too bad.
Well, anyway, I just want to make my opinion noted for the hours that I would support, and then I'd be interested to hear what the team has to say about Elm next meeting.
Very good.
So,
Anything else, Jeff?
No, that's good.
All right, thank you, Molly.
I'm fine, thank you.
All right, and Grace?
Since this is one of my last meetings,
Now your third last meeting.
third last, thank you, Pete. Or, yeah, work session was you. I know you guys gave a little political speech a couple weeks ago, so I just want to say this in case I can't make the next meeting, but I have really valued my time here. It's been very fun. I want to give a big shout out to you two, Pat and Jeff. You guys both started when I was on the board, and I am immensely proud with both of you guys stepping into your roles. I think you've done a great job for the village, and I'm very proud of you two stepping in and leading those teams. And for everyone else who works in the village, thank you guys, and I've really appreciated this time.
Love it, Grace.
I had a
Love it.
really great mentor.
Yeah? Sucking up stuff?
Well, I'm not saying anything.
Can we set another public hearing like the other Monday in March?
We can,
Just to make,
yeah.
yeah.
Make her
How
come.
about a couple Saturday mornings, budget sessions?
Excuse me, all right. Enjoyed the Moose? Ernie, I didn't see you the other day. I know you're at the Moose a lot, but I stopped by, brought my parents there for the fish fry on Friday. And what a great setup. You can eat in the dining room in the back there. Plenty of space, and everything was great. And homemade desserts, can't beat it. The Weeblos had me come and talk at the Boys and Girls Club to their group. That was actually very enlightening. They asked, they're like, what kind of stuff does the mayor do? And I was trying to like cater it to them. And I'm like, well, like if somebody wants like chickens or bees, we have to approve that. And they want more than 2 dogs, and they're like, they can't have more than 2 dogs. I'm like, well, they can have a third.
Yeah.
They're like, how many cats can you have? And I'm like, I don't think we have a limit on cats. And the kid goes, can we have 15 cats? That's up to your mom. Another kid goes, can we have 300 cats? Like, it's definitely up to your parents and probably your neighbors in the police department. Very, very entertaining. And I want to remind everybody, the Aurora Historical Society has their political party dinner Wednesday the 5th. This Wednesday? This Thursday. This Thursday, the 5th. Rob Goller, our historian, does a very entertaining job at that. And he writes, I think, all his own material, and there's songs, and it's a very enjoyable event. If anybody's available to make it at the Roycroft, go on the Aurora Historical Society website, and the information will be on there. And that is all that I have. So, can I get a motion to adjourn at 8:50, please? Nobody wants to leave?
Nobody wants to leave.
Nobody wants to leave?
We're going to miss you guys so much, we want to stay out longer.
I'm never going to adjourn. Jeff, second? Second on the motion?
Second.
Steve? I missed it. Did you say it?
I said first.
Okay.
Oh,
All right. The Grace is first, Jeff second.
Uh-huh, all right.
Steve. All those in favor?
aye.
All right. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you all for coming.
Yeah,